I booked the flight without telling anyone, not as a surprise, just because it didn't seem like something that required coordination anymore. I had done that before, shared arrival times, checked schedules, asked what everyone needed. It never changed much. So this time, I just showed up. The airport looked the same. The drive into town felt shorter than I remembered. Familiar roads, familiar turns. I unlocked the house with the same key I'd had for years. No one was there. That wasn't unusual on its own. People had lives. Plans shifted. I set my bag down, checked my phone. Nothing. No messages asking when I landed. No, see you soon. No update. I told myself it would sort itself out. Maybe they were running late. Maybe something came up. I unpacked slowly, put food in the fridge. Turned on a light even though it was still early. Evening came. Still nothing. I sent a message to the group chat. Simple. Just got in. At the house. It showed as delivered. Then read. No replies. I didn't call. I sat with it instead, watching the quiet stretch longer than it should have. By the next morning, it felt less like a mix-up and more like a decision. I made coffee. Sat at the table. Looked at the empty chairs like they might explain something. They didn't. I stayed another day. Not because I expected anything to change, but because leaving immediately would have made it feel like I had imagined the whole thing. On the second day, my phone finally rang. My mom. Her voice was normal, casual. Hey, she said, how's everything? I didn't answer that directly. I came in for Thanksgiving. Oh, she said, like it had just occurred to her. Right. There was a small pause. Well, listen, she continued. Your sister's baby shower is coming up. It's a bit upscale, 500 a person, but it's important. You're covering it, she said it cleanly. No hesitation, like it was already agreed. I leaned back in the chair, letting the sentence settle. Did you know I was here? I asked. Another pause. Shorter this time. We've just been busy, she said. You know how things are. I looked around the empty room. Yeah, I said. I think I do. She didn't respond to that. So you'll handle the payment? She added. Not a question. I ended the call without answering. For a while, I sat there with the phone in my hand, not moving. It wasn't anger. It was clarity, the kind that doesn't arrive loudly, just removes the space for interpretation. I opened my banking app, scrolled through the accounts. Some were mine, some were shared. Some had been set up years ago, slowly, as a way to help out, cover expenses. To smooth things over, I transferred 50 cents, added a note, good luck, sent it. Then I kept going, access as permissions, linked accounts, automatic payments. One by one, I reviewed them. I didn't rush. I didn't hesitate either. Each change felt less like a reaction and more like something overdue. By the time I finished, the structure that had quietly supported everyone else was no longer in place. I closed the laptop. The house was still quiet. That part hadn't changed. I slept better that night than I had expected, not because things were resolved, because something had been decided. In the morning, the knocking started, loud, repetitive, not patient. I knew who it was before I got up. My brother didn't usually come by unannounced. Not unless something had gone wrong. I opened the door. He looked different than usual. Not angry, exactly. More disoriented. What did you do? He asked. No greeting. Changed a few things, I said. You locked us out, he said, stepping closer. Accounts are frozen. Payments bounced. What is this? His voice wasn't controlled the way mine was. It's what it looks like, I said. He ran a hand through his hair, pacing once, then stopping. You can't just do that, he said. We rely on that. I let that sit for a second. I know, I said. That seemed to unsettle him more than anything else. This isn't how family works, he added, quieter now. I looked past him, out at the street. It was still early. No one else around. No, I said. It's how it's been working. He opened his mouth, then closed it. For a moment, he didn't have anything to replace what he had just said. We didn't know you were coming, he tried. I didn't know I needed to announce it, I replied. Another pause. He shifted his weight, like he was deciding whether to push harder or step back. So what now? He asked. It wasn't aggressive. It was uncertain. I considered that. Now, I said, things run differently. I didn't explain further. He looked at me, waiting for more. For a plan that included him. For reassurance that this was temporary. I didn't give it. After a few seconds, he nodded once. Not agreement. Just acknowledgement. I'll talk to Mom, he said. I didn't respond. He turned and walked away, slower than he had arrived. I closed the door. The house was still the same. The table, the chairs, the quiet. But it didn't feel like waiting anymore. It felt like something had finally stopped repeating.